What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A hangout where I am 1 minute early. I just wanted to mix things up this week and be on time. I did have a Fox 4 interview just before this, so I was already at my desk, ready. All the lights were on and everything, so I got off the interview and was looking at the time, and I was like, you know what? 1 minute early today. You can always change your ways. You can always be better. You can always better yourself, and that's what we hope the Chiefs continue to do after beating the Colts on Sunday, down 11 in the fourth quarter, 9-20. It was the biggest fourth quarter comeback of the Patrick Mahomes era, which is actually crazy to think about. And it was the first double-digit fourth quarter comeback since Super Bowl 54 against the 49ers. You had the season on the line. It was not looking great. Kareem Hunt fumbles in the red zone with whatever that was, 10 or so minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You're down 11. You need something to happen. You need plays to happen. You had been sputtering all game long in the red zone. You had, that was the second turnover by that point because Mahomes threw the pick early on the first drive of the Chiefs offense in the first half, and the Colts turned that into a touchdown, and you're trailing all game. All these things that we talked about heading into this game, that if certain things didn't happen, they statistically this year were not pulling out wins. So I said, hey, if they don't score on the opening drive of the first half, the opening drive of the second half, they haven't really won a game if they have goose eggs in both of those. Well, that happened, and they ended up winning. The defense then clamped down. 4 straight 3-and-outs on the Colts defense, 3 in the fourth quarter, 1 in overtime. And when you give, that's my thing. And that's how the Chiefs have been successful in recent years in the Mahomes era. The defense, you just give the offense another opportunity here or there, and they can typically do what it takes to get these wins, to get them done. And earlier on in the season, in these losses, the Chiefs defense in one-score games in the fourth quarter were giving up huge 3rd and 10 plus completions. It's just uncharacteristic for them. And then the Chiefs, their offense, they weren't capitalizing either. You were having uncharacteristic errors in the red zone, turnovers in the red zone, penalties in the red zone. We saw that rear its ugly head in the Colts game too. You had Kelsey. He ran that play out of the T-wing formation, or whatever it's called, wing T, I think is what it is actually. And somebody in the comments tell me what it actually is, but it's the weird like triangle pistol formation that they run. And Kelsey runs into the end zone, scores a touchdown, penalty on Jawan Taylor, negates the score. They settle for 3. It wasn't an actual face mask on Jawan Taylor. I think that was a bit of a missed call, bit of a soft call, but you know what? These things happen, man. You just have to overcome it. So I'm not here with the Colts guys, Colts people saying, oh, it's the refs. Like, I'm just not here for it. I'm not with it. Because if the Chiefs are getting these games rigged in their favor, why were they 5-5? Why? If the NFL is trying to rig all these games in the Chiefs' favor, why are they 5-5? It makes absolutely no sense. And I don't even entertain that stuff anymore. That's why I don't even talk about it in my videos, really. Like, people crying about the refs, like, that is what losers do. If you are a loser in life, that is what you do. You whine, moan, cry about the refs. Like, that's it. It's either the refs or the Colts offense soiled their joggers going 4 straight drives, 3 and out. 12 plays, 13 yards, and you want to blame the refs? How many opportunities did Daniel Jones and that offense have? That's why I'm like, yeah, just miss me with that. Miss me with that. It's irrelevant. Your cries and whining is irrelevant. Hold the L. Even hearing the Colts broadcasters that are employed by the Colts team talking about Mahomes whining and crying to the refs. I'm like, dude, you guys are professionally paid by the Colts and that's how you act? I'm going to act more professional than that on my YouTube live stream, and I'm in my basement. Like, what are we doing? Bunch of freaking losers. Now, with that being said, if there's lots of Colts fans that were saying GG's, and that's my mindset, if win or lose, GG's, man. Good game. It was hard fought. Like, it could have went either way. The Chiefs were able to make a couple more plays that went their way. You didn't hear me whining and crying about the refs when the Chiefs lost to the Broncos or any of their other losses. That's not what you do. You say, hey, man, good game. It was close. You guys out-executed a few more plays than the Chiefs did, so good game, man. Like, I don't like losing, but I'm not going to be a sore loser. So, with that, the Chiefs win. And they really need another win on Thanksgiving. I'll be curious to know your guys' thoughts. Like, how do you feel about the game? There's a couple injuries that happen, like Trey Smith with the ankle. He's not playing on Thursday. Noah Gray's in concussion protocol. He's not playing. Mahomes popped up with a groin issue late in the game. Rice with the hamstring late in the game. I think both of those guys play, but we'll see. It's hard to read too much into an injury report when it's on a short week. All these practices, like Monday's practice was an estimation. Then today was a super light 10-10-10 practice. So I can't read too much into those practices, but it's going to be a good game. The Cowboys are a great team. I know their record's not great, but they're getting better. They've made moves to get that defense better, trading for Quinnen Williams. I think you traded for Logan Wilson of the Bengals, the linebacker. You added Kenny Clark as well when you traded for Micah Parsons, and they are looking better. That secondary is still absolutely a problem, and I think the Chiefs can take advantage of that in this game on Thursday. But, man, Dak Prescott's playing at a very high level. CeeDee Lamb, some drop issues. It's a little weird, but he's still a very good wide receiver. And then you have George Pickens going absolutely nuclear. Ferguson, their tight end, is great as well. I think he's statistically a little bit lower this year from a production standpoint, but you also have Pickens. So you've got a lot of guys to worry about if you're looking at just the Cowboys, how they are, how they're kind of built. It's borderline a playoff game for both teams. I mean, the Cowboys are 5-5-1, the Chiefs are 6-5, and they both need a win. Now, both of these teams can lose and still make the playoffs. You just basically have to win out from here on out. And if the Chiefs are going to drop a game, this is the one to drop, because after this, it's all AFC teams and AFC West teams. Like, that's where you need your wins, even though at this point, when you are 6-5, you basically need all you can get. I don't love the idea of having 6 losses. Going to 6-6, you're borderline in trouble, and you're going to have some things help you. Some other teams lose that when they probably shouldn't, and then the Chiefs are going to essentially have to win out. But you can't sleep on the Cowboys' run game either. Javonte Williams, top 5 in rushing yards in the NFL. So Dak's playing at a high level. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams. They will be without Tyler Booker, their left tackle. So we'll see. Can the Chiefs exploit that? Can they exploit that weakness along the line? And then on the flip side, can the Chiefs somehow protect the interior with Mike Caliendo, knowing Quinnen Williams is probably going to be going up against him? That matchup really scares me. So it's going to be a tough fight. I think the Chiefs can definitely win it, but this is a good Cowboys team. Yeah. Cowboys suck? Not really, bro. Not really if you use your eyes and watch the games. No, not really. Especially in the last 2 weeks, their defense was awful, but their offense has been great. Their defense is getting better since getting Quinnen Williams added. How are you guys feeling about the game would be my question. Texans game is scary. Yeah, the Cowboys are, or the Texans rather, after the Cowboys. Somebody said Trey Smith sucks. Okay, who is this guy? I want productive conversation, and all I keep reading is trash. I mean, Trey Smith is going to be leagues better than Mike Caliendo. Mike Caliendo is definitely the weak link on the O-line. He was the worst graded pass rusher on the team last game, and he only played in the second half, and the 3rd worst graded run blocker on the team, and that's with running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers combined. So Mike Caliendo is absolutely the weak link. Kareem Hunt in the first half with Trey Smith in was averaging 4.5 yards per carry, 2.8 yards per carry in the second half without Trey Smith. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough loss. There's no sugarcoating that. That's for sure. You're worried? Is Pacheco playing? Yeah, Pacheco is slated to play. I don't know how many snaps he's actually going to get, but Andy Reid did say, hey, we'll see how it goes, but he is absolutely going to play. Jennifer with the 20 bomb. Let's go. Thank you so much for the 20 bomb, Jennifer. Holding it down as always. Yeah, the short week. Yeah, the short week is the only good thing about that, Frog. There's not a lot of good, but the Cowboys also have the short week, right? Now, they played one slot later than the Chiefs. The Chiefs played at noon. The Cowboys played at 3 or 3:30. But the Cowboys are at home, so it kind of offsets because the Chiefs have to travel to Dallas. But yeah, this is a good team. Cole, I think Scooter Magruder is a normal Cowboys fan, like delusional because of his score prediction or what. He's actually a really good dude. We talked for about 30 minutes before the interview. He was a super, super good dude. I think he was, what's up, Mr. Duck? He said 24-12 Chiefs win. Dude, let's go. I think he was trolling a little bit, to be honest with you. There's no way the Cowboys win by 21. That doesn't even make any sense in my head. Now, with that being said, I did an interview with an Eagles creator before the Super Bowl. They said, hey, the Eagles are going to win by 10 plus. And I was like, I was like, are you sure? I was like, I don't see that happening. And they absolutely did. They won by a lot. So we'll see. You never know. You have to play good, clean football. But the Cowboys, man, they beat the Eagles last week down 21-0 and won. But dude, they almost had like 5 turnovers. They went for it on 4th and goal, tie game with a couple minutes left. They didn't get it. It's just like a lot of things had to go their way to win. Now that's credit to them for pulling out the W, and I'm not like shorting them, sliding them for it, but they played some ugly football too and looked similar to the Chiefs at times. Scooter been hitting them. That's crazy. I wonder if they lean on Caliendo or if maybe they consider putting more in at right guard. Yeah, I've seen some people ask that, but my question is about the idea of Jalen Moore playing right guard. Does he have any guard experience? Because I just, I don't know. I was trying to see, because somebody else said that recently. They said that we need Jalen Moore at right guard. And my question was, does he have any guard experience? I don't think he does. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're going to mix that up. I think he's going to stay at tackle, or as their backup tackle, Jalen Moore, and Mike Caliendo's the guy. Aiden with the 5. I'm on the road to the game right now, watching it from Vegas, watching this. How about those Chiefs? Let's go. Yeah, that's why, Jai, I just don't think they're going to do that. I think it's Caliendo. You wouldn't do that if he doesn't have the experience right now. Does Andy Heck probably rotate those guys in and out and around a little bit just in case? Of course. I'm trying to remember during training camp, Jalen Moore, he worked in at guard a little bit, I think. But it's very minimal reps. So he doesn't have any, I don't think, actual game experience at guard. What are your expectations on Pierce going into week 13 plus? What's up, Jeremy? I don't know. I know Nate Taylor of ESPN said, hey, the Chiefs are, the expectation is he's going to play some snaps against the Texans, his former team. But are those special team snaps as a kick returner? Is he used in case of emergency on offense? I just have no idea. When Kareem Hunt was signed to the practice squad last year, he played 12 days later against the Chargers, and he had, I don't even know, 14, 16 carries for 69 yards. But the Chiefs' running back room situation was pretty desperate because you had Carson Steele, a UDFA, was basically the last line of defense in the backfield because Clyde Edwards-Helaire was on the NFI, and then Isaiah Pacheco broke his ankle. So you really needed help. Your main 2 backs were going to be CEH and Pacheco, and then last year they got P. Ryan as well eventually, but they just brought him in, and he was really your 3rd down back. So yeah, you were in a pretty bad situation. Now, the other thing about Kareem Hunt, and some people maybe be pointing it out in the comments right now, is, well, Cole, of course Kareem Hunt could go in after 12 days and play some meaningful snaps. He was with the Chiefs for 2 years, almost 2 years, in 2017 and then 2018 when he ended up getting let go in November. Touche, I understand it, but he was away from the team for 6 years. Now, it's the same head coach, basically the same system, so I do think that worked well in his favor, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if Dameon Pierce is just going to walk into this offense and just become one of the main producing guys in the backfield. But I do think if they don't want to give Elijah Mitchell snaps and you've got banged up guys, bring Dameon Pierce up and let him run from under center. If the Chiefs are going to keep running from under center like we've been begging them to do, I mean, plenty of running backs can do that, and I think Dameon Pierce could absolutely do it. So I don't have a lot of expectations. I really have no idea. But do I think Dameon Pierce has the ability to step in and actually produce on offense in some sort of role after a couple weeks? Absolutely. Now, what does that say about Elijah Mitchell? Dude, I don't know. If Dameon Pierce comes in and starts producing on offense, I think you just let him go. You let Elijah Mitchell go. Why? What is the point? Even when you needed running back help, you're elevating Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the practice squad and activating him over Mitchell. So I'm not even being like petty about it or whatever. I'm just saying, look, if he's not going to get played, like, why is he on the roster? Let him go. I understand his contract it's got some guarantees attached to it, but it's just like, dude, if you're not going to use him, you don't think he's valuable enough or ready enough, talking about Elijah Mitchell, to play after being here since March or whenever they signed him. But you think Dameon Pierce has a chance to play next week in 10 or 12 days from now against the Texans? What are we doing? That's kind of where I'm at with it. Yo, Alexis from Texas in the house. Hey. My kids and I will be at the game Thursday as well. Heck yeah. Let's go. I love that. Good to see you, Alexis. We need to use Pierce in the kick return. That is a way he can contribute almost instantly. He could play on Thursday if you really needed him to. Talking about Antonio Pierce in the kick return game. Absolutely. That's the way he plays the fastest. Jalen Moore has said he has guard experience. Yeah, but let me, Jalen Moore college stats. I think there's a way to, like, look up his snaps. I just don't think he had... I think he played tackle. He might have had guard experience before college. But I feel like I looked into this because I was definitely curious. And I think he played tackle like every game in college, or almost all of them. So he might have a little bit, but I don't think it's enough that he's going in against the Cowboys, and they're going to throw him in at guard against Quinnen Williams. I could absolutely be wrong, so I won't sit here and say that's never happening. I just think it's unlikely. Yeah, Mike Callion and David said Callion is a good backup guard, not a good starting guard. Yeah, he's good in a pinch, but he will be the weak link. But when you think about the rest of the Chiefs O-line, he's obviously going to be the weak link because who is over him? You have Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers, if not the best center in football. Jawan Taylor is still a top 10 right tackle when he's not drawing flags. You have Josh Simmons, one of the best tackles in football, definitely best rookie left tackle in football, or right up there. And then Kingsley's turning into a very serviceable guard. I was nervous about him early. I think a lot of you were with the quick losses he was having, but you can't pull a guy until you actually give him a bunch of reps. And Kingsley is, I just tweeted about him yesterday, maybe. I've said this before on a stream. I'm just so happy for Kingsley, man. I'm so happy that he's continuing to get better every single week. He's enjoying it out there. He's having a lot of fun, and he really looks the part. Yep, David also said we have to limit our penalties this game or I might go crazy. Yeah, the Chiefs have had 3 losses on the road, or 3 of their losses on the road. They've had 10 or more penalties. It's been killing the Chiefs, man. Even in the home game at Arrowhead against the Colts, they had like 10 penalties. A lot. 3 or 4 on special teams alone. You've got to clean that up. And I don't know if you guys saw, yeah, here's another one too. Tierbo said, I saw Fulton let their gunner right past him in the game like he did against the Colts. If he does that again, I'll reach to the TV and grab Dave Tobe. Yeah, Fulton. Okay, so I had a segment on yesterday's video. Some of you might have seen it, but I was talking about the struggles of the Chiefs special teams unit. Butker was fine. So this isn't a Butker conversation. So keep that kind of pushed to the side because Butker was awesome. He was 5 for 5 on field goals. He didn't have any kicks out of bounds or anything like that. He was fine. I'm talking kick return and punt return units. Undisciplined. If they're not drawing flags, which they drew 3 in the Colts game. 1 on kickoff, a kick return, and then 2 on punt returns. If they're not drawing penalties, they're missing blocks. Like whoever, I can't remember who said that, but they were talking about Christian Fulton missed a block as a gunner on it would be the punt team's left, Nico Remigio's right, and as soon as Remigio catches the punt, he's tackled. Then, if you're not getting flagged and you're not missing blocks, Nico, on the 2 opportunities I think he had to actually return, he he doesn't have like the elite burst and agility to just make people miss. So I think he's just waiting too long. He catches the ball and he's like looking around and he's like surveying the field, like, which way do I go? And then he just doesn't have the elite athleticism like to Kavontae Turpin, who the Chiefs are going to play on Thursday, the Cowboys returner. That dude is a freak of nature, elite, very shifty. He can really make you miss and make you pay. So Nico has been struggling with that as well. Even when the punt return unit finally holds up and finally doesn't draw a flag, he's been struggling at getting effective returns as well. And I'm saying all this to say it's really affecting the Chiefs offense and their starting field position. Their average field position on 5 out of 6 punts against the Colts was the 9-yard line. How is that actually a sustainable recipe for success? How? That's insane. The Chiefs have to drive 91 yards every drive. Now, one of them they had at the 40 or something like that, so that then takes your average up to the 15. But you're telling me the Chiefs offense have to go 85 yards after the opposing team punts every single drive? That's insane. Help the offense out, man. So Dave Toub and that unit they've got to figure it out, because it's the definition of operating on all phases of the game if you want to win and not have to grind out these struggle wins because one of your phases is completely letting you down. Now, the offense obviously missed opportunities as well, so it's not just on special teams, but that is an area where they could definitely do better. Definitely could do better. Cole, what are your picks for the game? What up, Aiden? When you say picks, are you saying who do I think's winning, or are you saying underdog picks? Because I have 3 underdog picks already for the game. I need to sign in and look at them because I don't know them off the top of my head, but I can get those to you. But as far as like who's going to win the game, I don't know. I'm rolling with the Chiefs winning, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I don't think the Cowboys are winning by 21, like Scooter said. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, and you've got to be really careful because Dak and those wide receivers can make you pay. Then you've got to watch Quinnen Williams along the interior up against Mike Caliendo. But I think the Chiefs have the recipe for success in their pass game to be able to kind of take advantage of the weak Cowboys secondary, and I think they can get it done. Yeah, I think they can get it done for sure. It might be a little higher scoring, a little bit of a shootout. But here's my picks. If you guys want to see it, let me see what happens if I do this. You guys see this? I have Dak Prescott throwing, or I have him hitting the higher on 32.5 pass attempts. I just think the Chiefs are pretty good at stopping the run. If you could stop Saquon, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor this year and really limit them, Javonte Williams is good, but I think Dak Prescott's going to have to throw. I have Mahomes in the higher on 268.5 passing yards. He's done that 4 of the last 5 games or so, and I think it's kind of the same. The Cowboys' run defense is better, but the secondary is a clear weakness, so I think the Chiefs are going to have to air it out a little bit. I still would like them to try to establish the run. It's only going to help, but I do like the higher on that. And then I just didn't know about Rice. I like hitting Rice's lines in these games because he's always fed, but with him dealing with the hamstring, who really knows? And I know Worthy's been banged up too, but he's hit 3 receptions in the last 5 games in a row. So I hit the higher on 2.5 receptions for Worthy. So those are my 3 picks, and anybody who wants to join in on the fun, be responsible. Obviously, don't ever put money on games or picks that you can't afford to lose. I just do like coffee money with it, or here or there, have some fun with it. And this is actually dinner money, but it's nothing I can, if I'm going to lose on picks, I'm going to be like, oh, I can't afford to take care of my family. So always be smart and responsible with that. But yeah, any new sign-up who uses my code HBTC can play just $5, get $100 in bonus picks. Give me pick in the lobby. They're doing all kinds of bonuses and specials and stuff like that for Thanksgiving. Anyway, those are my picks. Chiefs 28, Cowgirls 24. Bottom line, it all starts with the Mahomes. Yeah, for sure. Interesting you have Worthy on receptions over Rice. Well, Rice's line was like 6.5. So for Worthy, I have 2.5 receptions. He's hit that 5 in a row. Rice's was 6.5, and I don't know what to expect from Rice with the hamstring, to be honest. I missed Darrell's super chat. Okay, let me Sorry, I'm like kind of looking at a different screen. I've missed a few things, I think, here. KC Lion Squad with the 2. Okay, yeah, I did read that. Xander with the 25 months. 25 months. Time to show America who the real America's team is. Chiefs going to make this a happy Thanksgiving. I hope so, Xander. I would really prefer that. Thank you so much, brother. And then Darrell with the 10 bomb. Did you read Seth's article after the game? He said 95 stormed onto the field in an act of defiance. He wasn't asking the crowd for energy. It was a demand. I didn't read the whole article, but I did see the article, and then I did hear him talk about it today on his podcast with Nate. On Only Weird Games, and Nate and Briscoe. Basically, yeah, Chris Jones walked out there after the Kareem Hunt fumble during the commercial break and started making the crowd get super loud. And that kind of sparked / jump started the defense forcing 4 straight 3-and-outs, which was awesome, man. Yeah, heck yeah. Got to keep Rice Hammy in check. Don't want to hammy Watkins. Yeah, don't want to hammy Watkins. And, well, it was weird because it seems like he's going to be fine. Andy Reid said he should be fine. He spoke after the game, where typically if you're dealing with an injury, you don't really speak to the media. So I think he's going to be okay. But that did make me a little hesitant on his picks. Seth's article was great. Yeah, it was great. From what I read, I would rather listen. That's just how I consume content and learn. So I listen to Seth on his podcast a lot. Obviously, I'm subbed to his Substack. He's a regular here on the channel. I think it's great. And I do read his articles because they're easier to understand. But if I had to choose between reading and watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast to learn, that is how I personally like to consume content. You'll be burning your turkey come kickoff. Let's go, Johnny. What up? Is Pierce starting? Nah, not today, or not Thursday. Sorry, I had to turn my AC or my heat vent off. It's hot in here. I'm kind of concerned when it comes to the rivalry uniforms in a few years. What are you concerned about? You're concerned that the Chiefs will have an alt uniform, or that, what do you mean? What's the concern there? Hunt is a dog, but we can't have him carry 30 times every game. Oh, 100%, Toma. I think that's why Isaiah Pacheco is going to get some work in some capacity in this game, because you're right. At 30 years old, it's not really sustainable for Kareem Hunt to continue carrying that many times a game. Cowboys are wearing their throwback. I don't think they'd risk Chiefs having one since their jersey hasn't changed. Nah. Chiefs are white on white, though. The Colts did get Kareemed. Yeah, they did. With the defense not being the same as last year, was Wharton that good? Yeah, okay. I think it's a little multifaceted. I do think Turk Wharton was good. He's better than any interior guy they have now. They were hoping for that, even just somewhat close to Turk Wharton from Omar Norman Lott in the second half of the season. He tore his ACL, right? Well, then Chris Jones isn't getting any younger, although he's been playing at a higher level lately. You're not going to get as high of a consistent ceiling from Chris Jones snap in and snap out at 31 years old. But then his supporting cast, because Wharton is gone, has also gotten worse. But it's not just Wharton being gone. It's Omenihu taking a step back after the ACL still not looking right. Mike Dana, I don't know what he's been doing. So I think it's multifaceted. But yes, do I think they miss Wharton? Absolutely. I just don't think it's only because Wharton's gone, and that's why the D-line is not looking what they normally look like. I think it's just a bit more than that. Somebody said, hey, why didn't the Chiefs, somebody asked me this yesterday, why didn't the Chiefs pay Turk Wharton that 3-year, $54 million deal, because it was only $30 million guaranteed, pay that to him, that's $10 million guaranteed a year, rather than Christian Fulton to the 2-year, $20 million deal? Well, I think if you just had to pick, and you don't know, you pick Fulton because of the cornerback issues that you had the year prior with you trade Snead, Jalen Watson breaks his ankle, you're struggling with that all year, and you were hoping you could draft somebody in the second round to be able to potentially get to some baseline level of Turk Wharton eventually on a rookie deal. It just hasn't panned out. And that's always like the struggle, I think, of these GMs, Brett Veach, all these guys. It's like all calculated risks, right? I think a good calculated risk of Veach a few years ago was Jerick McKinnon. He had a couple years of season-ending injuries, one solid year, I think, with the 49ers before coming to KC after that. And then he was a great calculated risk. Another great calculated risk would be you traded away L'Jarius Sneed for that draft pick. And then Sneed, he's been on IR for most of the year for 2 years in a row with the Titans. But he was coming off of an absolutely elite year where a lot of us Chiefs fans, me too, we're like, man, if they could figure out a way to keep Sneed, that would be awesome. So this game is all about calculated risks, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Jai said that Sneed hasn't done much since we let him go. Unfortunately, yeah. David said Bolton, Tranquil, and Chanel need to step up and pick off Dak. Tight end will be a problem. Yeah, Jake Ferguson's great. He doesn't scare me as much as Tyler Warren, but I still think Ferguson is a great tight end, and you have to account for him and watch out for him absolutely. Also because Dak Prescott is a much better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I can't even troll around about Dak Prescott these days because he's playing at a very high level. Yep, remember when Jet McKinnon was Offensive Player of the Month? He did go off. Am I going to be live for the game? Absolutely, Sam. Yeah, Thursday is Thanksgiving, yes, but it's a work day for me, so I will absolutely be live during the game. Whoa, what did I just do? Yeah, I saw that. Cook signed with the Bills. Yeah, I think to their practice squad. I did see that. Was it was he a free agent? Like what was he doing? I'm trying to remember. Only one I see truly a loss would be Tooney. I am okay with us trading away McDuffy this season as well. Whew. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself, the idea of trading McDuffy, because I do think it's a real possibility. But the Tooney thing, I think it's panned out just because Kingsley has worked out. So Kingsley's been a fine guard, and Tooney was going to be $20-something million. So you can't pay everybody, especially when you're paying Trey. You're paying Juwan what you're paying him. I know you can move on from his contract after this year, but you're still paying him. Creed, you're paying whatever, 17, 18 million a year as well. So you now have Kingsley and Josh Simmons on cheap rookie cost-controlled deals over there on the left side. And Kingsley absolutely panned out. Although, hey, if you could have kept Tooney, I would be down. But I do think that one worked out, even though Kingsley isn't at the level of Joe Tooney. I still think Kingsley might be a better run blocker than Tooney. Not better in pass pro. Weird question. Who's your favorite player on the Chiefs? Not a weird question. I mean, my favorite player of all time is Derek Thomas, DT58. Favorite player now? I don't really know. I have a lot of respect for it, a lot of guys on the roster. We are in desperate need of O-line and D-line depth. I think you're okay at tackle, right, this year? For the most part, Jawan Taylor, Simmons, and Jalen Moore, that's better tackle depth than you've had. But yeah, the interior, after Trey Smith or Kingsley, it's Mike Caliendo, but that was your interior depth last year as well. If you're saying, hey, from a depth standpoint, if you could have kept Tooney and then had Kingsley as your depth piece along the interior, sure. But we wouldn't even know what to think of Kingsley because he wouldn't be getting the reps, right? Then he was rough at first. So if Kingsley came in and filled in for somebody injured and he looked rough, it would just continue to crush his confidence in my eyes. But yeah, I think you could never have enough depth in any position group. The trenches for sure, cornerbacks, wide receivers. I agree. Thanks for responding. Heck yeah, Landon. Good to see you, man. What's up, football bub? What up? Your score prediction is 27-20 Chiefs and Mahomes 2 TDs. Don't you agree? Sure. That looks great to me. Mahomes hasn't had a touchdown in a few games, has he? A passing touchdown? I think he's overdue. How big of a problem you think CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens will be? One of them will be a problem at times because you can't double them both. You can't completely remove CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens from the equation. It's impossible. So who do you take out of the game and force to make the plays? I think it's Pickens, and you force CeeDee Lamb to make plays. He's been dealing with some drop issues lately. That's kind of where my mind goes, but yeah, they're both going to make some plays. I don't know if you could stop them both. Pickens is out. Nah, he's going to play. He's going to play. He's dealing with like a knee calf issue, I think, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. The only one that's not going to play, from what I understand, is Tyler Guyton, their left tackle. So that's something you could maybe hope to exploit, is the left side of that line. Tyler Guyton will not be playing in this one. Trevor with the 3 months. Let's go, dude. Will Noel Williams get to play more next year? Do you think it would be a good idea to keep Watson and get picks for Trent McDuffie? I think Noel Williams for sure is going to play more next year. I think he's going to be, let's say you keep Trent McDuffie, I think Noel Williams is your CB2. Because I don't know that you can keep McDuffie around even just on the 5th-year option and extend Jalen Watson to a multi-year contract. You have Fulton on the roster as well. You might have to eat that and move on from him. Like, I don't really know. But I think Noel Williams is absolutely in the plans. The McDuffie talk, yeah, I mean, that's an option. Trade Trent McDuffie for a first and a second or 2 firsts. Like, if you can get 2 firsts from Sauce, can you get 2 firsts from McDuffie? I don't know. But that's an option. And you use that to move up into the draft and get a home run hitter at defensive end or defensive tackle and really build in the trenches. You've got to then, I don't know, Trent McDuffie's so good. It's the problem and why I struggle with the idea. I did float the idea to you guys in a Q&A a couple weeks ago, like, hey, what if the Chiefs did do that rather than paying Trent McDuffie long-term $30 million a year? You trade him, you get a couple first-round picks, and then you move up into the draft and you get just some home run hitter defensive end that can tee off and help George Karlaftis and Chris Jones. Because at the end of the day, your secondary can be sticky in coverage, but if the pass rush can't get home for 3, 4, 5 seconds, they're going to get open anyway. So the thought is you trade McDuffie, multiple picks, you beef up the D-line, and you start wreaking havoc, getting to the quarterback. Think of Denver's just lights out in like every phase of the ball, but their D-line is insane. Now, I'm not saying I want to trade McDuffie because you could just keep him on the 5th-year option and franchise tag him the next year if you needed to. You don't have to get a long-term deal done with McDuffie by any means, but it is an interesting thought and conversation to have in the offseason because of Sauce Gardner recently getting traded. I don't like the idea. I just wish you could take, because McDuffie's awesome, dude. He loves football. He's never in trouble, studies all the time, knows his stuff, plays really well, very durable, rarely injured. What else could you ask for? He's a lockdown corner, top 5 in the NFL. You could move him into the slot. He can play on the outside. You can't really ask much more out of Trent McDuffie. He's awesome, man. Scooter's a clown? Nah, he's a good dude. I think he was just trolling around. He said the Cowboys are going to win by 21, but I don't actually, in his mind, there's no way he's serious. Even, somewhere back there. You could put on a front about it, but I don't think so. Stylesy with the 12 months. The Chiefs Dallas game will be on Friday breakfast time here in Australia. Let's go. Love that. For some breakfast. On that note, Watson has been playing well. Yeah, Jalen Watson has been playing well. He's not as consistent as Trent McDuffie. That's going to show up. I think he's also targeted a little bit more than McDuffie because McDuffie's out there. So that's going to be, you're going to see more quote-unquote fails, in my opinion, from Jalen Watson because McDuffie sometimes, yes, he is absolutely locking down. But then sometimes he's not even getting looked at because they're like, oh, well, if McDuffie's over here, we're going this way. Casey Lion Squad with the 5 bomb. I would love to see Juju, Thornton, and Tunyon impact this game. We know what Kelsey brings, but Noah does the little things that gets overlooked. Yeah, absolutely. And with Noah Gray and concussion protocol, you're going to see a little bit more from Robert Tunyon. Maybe you'll see Jared Wiley. Maybe you'll see him active for the first time this year as he's continuing to rehab. And he's cleared to play, but just get better after tearing his ACL about this time last year, I think it was. So, yeah. Juju, if Rice is a little bit more limited, Juju's going to be getting some of his snaps. Thornton, we keep saying, hey, more Thornton, downfield, take some shots. I think you could do it. The Cowboys play a lot of zone. Matt Eberflus is their defensive coordinator. He loves to play zone. And the Chiefs absolutely feast in zone because Juju, Kelsey, Rice, all these guys are incredible against zone, great feel for space. Eberflus will probably try to play more man coverage, but I just don't know if they've got the horses back there to hold him down. The Chiefs struggle against man coverage in comparison to zone, but I still think they're going to make some plays. Absolutely. Mike Tilson with the gifted. Let's freaking go, man. And Pack West with the 20 bomb. Come on now. Hey, seriously, because, well, I guess I'll see you guys on Thanksgiving if you're going to be in here, but I hope you guys have a great holiday, great Thanksgiving. It's always a time, it sounds corny, but I do kind of use that holiday and that time of the year to reflect and kind of just sit back and be like, well, what should I be grateful for on a regular day when I get up and just think about, okay, we got to make content and do all this. Like, can I slow down and just think about what I've been blessed with, whether that's family, my wife, my kids, living in the country that I live in. Just, you could have your qualms with America. I understand it's not perfect, but it's a really good country to live in where I don't have to leave my door in fear for my life or anything. I can just go to work and talk football. Like, that's what I get to do for a living, which is a lot of fun. But I hope you guys are able to reflect a bit as well. And then I also know that some of you might have family members or loved ones that have passed away recently or around the holiday in previous years, and it's a very hard time for you. So whether it's a great time for you or not, I wish you the best and hope you guys are safe out there, and we'll see you during the live stream. I'm not leaving. It sounds like I am, but I did want to say that before I forgot. I'm also grateful and thankful for you guys, for the platform that you guys have helped me build. Thank you, mods. Just thanks for everybody, man. The fact that I get to do this for a living, it's a dream come true for me, and I'm enjoying every single day. And Jeanette with the 2 bomb. Let's go, Chiefs. Come on now. Let's go. Are you going to invite Scooter back on the channel after we beat Dallas? Yeah, if we beat him, I'll let him come and own up and confess his sins. Do you think the offseason could be a huge overhaul by the Chiefs? I don't know if it'll be huge, but there will be pieces that you're going to have to try to figure out how to replace or how to adapt. Like, if Kelsey's done, that's a big one. It's like, okay, what are you going to do there? You going to go invest in another wide receiver and kind of have that carry? Like, what are you going to do there? Is Jared Wiley it? Noah Gray? You can move on from Jawan Taylor. Like, there's absolutely some changes that are going to happen. I don't know about a huge overhaul, but they need to make some upgrades. Running back room, please. You're thankful for me being Chiefs and favorite YouTuber? Oh, let's go, football. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We need to sign players early. Veach is as bad as Jerry Jones and waiting to pay. Then you pay premium instead of cheap, a.k.a. Eagles tactics. Yeah, if you're talking about extending players early, I feel like they did a good job with that with George Karlaftis. You did that with Noah Gray. But the top of market guys, they're the struggle. So like Trent McDuffie, they had conversations with him this past offseason, but I'm sure McDuffie's agents are like, hey, man, look, you see how much Sauce is getting paid, or PS2? I mean, pick your poison on J.C. Horn. Like, I can't remember everybody that got paid in the offseason. But look at all these guys getting paid. If you wait right now, you're getting 20% that next year if you just wait out and play one more year. And so McDuffie could have had offers from the Chiefs, but McDuffie was like, oh, we're okay. I'm okay. We'll wait. And you've got your 5th-year option as well, so it's not like Trent McDuffie can just hit the open market. But that's where, like, other scenarios could come into play. So, yeah, those top-of-market contracts are much harder to negotiate for sure. Yeah, but no one is worse than Jerry in waiting to pay. I absolutely agree with you. He waits to pay everybody, and he overpays. You think the Cowboys' defense is good? I know they were really bad at the beginning of the year. They're definitely better. Morston? Yeah, they're definitely better. You got Quinnen Williams now. I think they got healthy. Overshone is back, their linebacker, after a serious knee injury last year. So, yeah, they're absolutely better than the beginning of the year. No doubt about it. Paying McDuffie $30 million will cripple the franchise. And that's why I'm like, I don't know that the Chiefs do that. I don't know that they do that. It feels like a lot. But again, you don't have to do that right now. You can let him play on the 5th-year option. You could franchise tag him the next year. You could then tag and trade. Like, there's no rush. The team's in control, really, unless, yeah, you want to go like semi-Tyreek Hill style. It's not the same comparison, but trade him, get a couple of draft picks, and then instead of paying him, and then go get somebody, like, I don't know. That's an option for sure. Score prediction? Man. Chiefs-Cowboys score prediction. I'm going to go 31-28 Chiefs. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but I do think it's got to be a little bit of a higher scoring game. That feels like a lot, but I just think it's going to be a bit of a shootout. Trade him for certified D-line help. We can never sustain pressure without blitzing. That's exactly what I said, Fax, earlier. I don't know if you were in here, but I said, hey, if you trade McDuffy, you get some draft capital for him. You need to use that draft capital to move up into the draft and get just a game wrecker of a defensive end or a defensive tackle that can get after the passer. 2 games other than the Jags game that we should have won other than Jags are the Chargers and Broncos. Maybe the Eagles would be one I might throw up there, because I think if Kelsey scores that touchdown instead of batting it up and it turns into the pick, the Chiefs might have won that game. You can always look at, like, Butker was missing early on. The Chargers game, the Chiefs had a chance, but Butker missed the extra point. You then go for 2, and I think that's where you eventually found yourselves down by 9. It was like that weird, you were down more than 1 score. You're chasing that extra point. What's up, David? I'm feeling pretty good about the game so far. It's just a weird one because I feel like the Cowboys are better than their record shows now, especially their defense. But I think the Chiefs they have keys to win it. Trey Smith makes me nervous. Like, if Trey Smith was healthy, I'd feel even better. But he's out. So you're going to have Mike Caliendo against Quinnen Williams. That kind of scares me. That does. Essence with the 35 months, 1 month shy of 3 years. Absolutely insane. Hey, Cole, thank you for all you do. Are you live streaming the game Thursday? Yeah, I am live streaming during the game. It's just a work day for me. So I'll be working Thursday, Friday. Also, do you think we will actually win? Yeah, I think they definitely have the chance, the ability, the opportunity to win against the Cowboys. No doubt about it. Is it going to be a cakewalk? No. They're a good team, especially the offense, man. But Spags, like, you can absolutely have a good game plan, but you're going to have to accept the fact that there's just going to be some times where CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens makes a play. Do I watch Stranger Things? I do not. I've never seen it. Cole, got to get a statue of Spags behind you? Put it where? That's a funny idea. I like that. Favorite Thanksgiving food? Man, I don't even know. I like a lot of it. What's some of your favorite food? I like a good pie. I mean, turkey's fine. Potatoes are fine. If you guys got a favorite, let me know. Cole, go put the Chiefs helmet on? Nah. Is our run game still going to be good even with Trey out? It will not be as good. That's for sure. Yep, I'm streaming the game. Yep. Stuffing and turkey, ham, deviled eggs. Stuffing. Okay, a lot of people saying stuffing. Sides over dry turkey. Yeah, you can't have the dry turkey. You have to, I don't know cooking terms, but what is it when you have to, like, soak it for 24 hours and then bake it that way? I've had deep fried turkey as well. That's pretty good. They gave up 40 against the Broncos. It's not a good defense. That was also before Quinnen Williams. You need to look at after they got Quinnen Williams. They've got several players back now, are healthier, and definitely more improved. Yeah, marinating, basting, brining. That's what it is, brining. Thank you. But yeah, so that's the problem with looking at a team's schedule and just being like, well, 5 games ago they got blown out by the Broncos. Well, they now have Quinnen Williams, Overshown's back. They are kind of finding a groove with Eberflus. But yeah, are they still? I'm not saying that defense is elite. I think they're better than they were 5 games ago, though. That's all I'm saying. I mean, my favorite food for Thanksgiving would be tacos. Well, sometimes at a different family's dinner, like the night before Thanksgiving, we would do a taco bar. Maybe that's blasphemous. I don't know, but I like the taco bar. We blew out the Lions. Yeah, absolutely. It's any given Sunday, man. If you go out there and you execute at the level you know you can, the Chiefs know they can absolutely win this game by 7+. Whatever happened to the giant Kelsey cardboard that Danny got? Jennifer, thank you for the 5. I don't know where that is. She got it for the Super Bowl, though. I don't know where that is. Cowboys secondary, yeah, that is absolutely the weakness. They didn't really get better there. Turkey, not ham. I like ham and turkey. Your buddy's a Cowboys fan. He's going to give me so much ish if we lose. Yeah, please don't let us lose. Yeah, Dallas didn't have Clowney at that time either. I don't remember when they signed Jadeveon Clowney. That's a great question. That could be right. Cowboys sign Jadeveon Clowney. They signed him on September 14th. I think he was around. Yeah, I think he was around by then. Do you think Kelce will play next year? That's a great question. Honestly, I have no idea. I would just say this. The way he's looking out on the football field, he could play. He could play again. Absolutely. Does he want to? I don't know. He doesn't need to. He's got anything and everything he wants after life. We know who he's engaged to. He's got a great future there. He's got his podcast, entertainment opportunities. He could be in the booth doing something for NFL games. Like, he doesn't need to play again, but I think he looks good enough to keep playing. You need to cut out of Taylor Swift behind you? Oh, gosh. Lemon pie? That's your favorite pie? I don't know if I've ever had lemon pie. Is that bad that I haven't? Cranberry salad. The kind with whipped cream and little marshmallows and pineapple in it? Oh, my gosh. That kind of sounds wild. I've never had that. Broncos fumble the AFC West would be funny. Who would get it over them? The Chargers, or you think the Chiefs? I mean, there's a chance the Chiefs could win the West, but it's like, I mean, the Broncos would have to lose 2 or 3 games. The Chiefs would have to win out. It seems very unlikely. Cole, thoughts on Pacheco's role this year in extension talks this offseason? I don't think you need to extend Pacheco. If you want to bring him back on a 1 year, I'm open to it. I think you need to, if you want to overhaul a room, you need to overhaul maybe the D-line room to some capacity and the running back room. Nobody outside of Brashard Smith is under contract after this year. If that's saying, hey, Dameon Pierce, Brashard Smith, and draft a third-round running back or get somebody in free agency, Breece Hall, I don't think you're going to pay for what he's going to get offered in free agency. That and the D-line absolutely needs some upgrades. You could get out from Dana's contract after this year. Hughes on a 1-year deal. All the interior guys are basically on a 1-year deal, obviously outside of Chris Jones. And you then have Omar Norman Lott will come back off the ACL. I don't know about FAU. I don't know what to make of that. But those are the 2 position groups where if I'm saying, hey, make some upgrades there. And then if Kelce's not back, wide receiver, absolutely. I think you've got to do something there. But I don't know to what degree. I don't know if you go because Kelce took $20 million this year. That's $20 million off of, that's affecting your cap pretty heavily, and you could get a pretty decent wide receiver for that money, So it's a great question, and that's part of the fun about the offseason is once the teams are all done, what do they do to retool or rebuild or to kind of reload for the next season? How's my day been? It's been good, Vicky. Thanks for asking. It's been a little busy. Just with the end of the month, we have some extra ads this month on the channel because it's around Black Friday and all that stuff. And then the short week, Chiefs game Sunday, Chiefs game Thursday. So we'll be working Thursday and Friday. But yeah, I'm doing really good. Who has the most potential to become a superstar on the roster? Superstar. I mean, I think Trent McDuffy comes to mind, but he's already playing at a super high level. Rice is on an upward trajectory. Josh Simmons probably would be. Maybe the answer is Josh Simmons, to be honest with you. Is that a good answer, Josh? Patrick Mahomes, he's already there. He's there. Chris Jones is there. Kelce's there. I'm trying to think of like young guys with potential to kind of like really push through and be one of the best at their position for years to come. We don't use Jason Brownlee. I don't even think he's on the roster. Is Jason Brownlee even around? Is he on the practice squad? Oh, maybe he is. Did they re-sign him to the practice squad after Rice came back? Yeah, he's on the practice squad, but they don't need receivers right now. If you're talking about for the future, okay, maybe, but you've got Royals under the wing as well. Mahomes playing his childhood favorite team is crazy. Yeah, on Thanksgiving. Yeah, Jalen Royals kind of redshirt this season, David. The wide receiver room is too too competitive, too crowded. Cole, I'm going to need you to keep me in the loop Thursday. I'm going to be in Disneyland. Nice, Chase. Enjoy that. That's awesome. What college do I root for? I don't watch college ball. I know that's bad because it really puts me behind for the draft, but I work 6 days a week here on the channel during the football season, and I use Saturdays to spend with my family, and I know that's like a lot of college games on Saturday. So it's the sacrifice that I make to spend time with my wife and kids as on Saturdays. So because of that, I play a lot of catch up after the season with draft and that kind of study prep. I think Worthy's a bust. No, I do think he's struggling all year with the shoulder and ankle injury though, and it's affecting his output and production. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I need another year from Worthy probably to really say. I think you need to give every draft pick 2 to 3 years, which is why I was even willing to give Sky a 3rd year. I was willing to give FAU this year a 3rd year. He's on IR for the year, even though the signs didn't look great with Felix, right? He was working in with like the 3rd team defense. I was still willing to give a draft pick like that 3rd year. It feels too early to make a strong declarative statement about a draft pick year 1 for sure, even year 2. I was down on him, but his adjustment on that catch was great. Yeah, I just saw this too. Look at this catch that Worthy made. He caught that. Like, there's just sometimes Worthy will make a crazy catch. I don't think his strength is chasing down deep balls and tracking them. Like, he seems to be struggling with that this year for whatever reason. That's kind of Tyquan Thornton. But Worthy has absolutely made some good, solid catches for sure. I think you need to figure out how to use him a little bit more effectively, more productively. Yeah, that was beautiful. Exactly. Where's Royals? Just redshirting, chilling, healthy scratch this year, essentially, because the wide receiver room is pretty deep. Who do you want Royals to get playing time over right now? It's not going to be Rice. It's not going to be Worthy. Probably won't be Hollywood. It's not going to be Juju because of his role as your blocking wide receiver, and he's really got a great rapport with Patrick Mahomes. So if it's not going to be those 4, it's not going to be Thornton because Thornton's your deep threat, and then Nico Remigio right now is your returner. Yep, Thornton should get more playing time. A lot of people in chat are saying that right now. I had a video recently, I think, that said, hey, Thornton needs more time. And I was talking about his production on deep passes. Let me see if I can find it. Not the video, but Thornton. Here we go. Here, look at this. I want to show you this. All right, these are passes over 20 yards. I want you guys to look at this for a second. Tyquan Thornton has been targeted 19 times, and he's caught 7 of those. That's a 36.8% completion or reception percentage for 286 yards and a touchdown. Worthy's been targeted downfield 20-plus yards 11 times, and he's only caught 2. So it's half the reception percentage. And it's just time and time again, you say, oh, Mahomes is overthrowing Worthy. I think some of it is Worthy just has trouble tracking the ball. There's been times where it looks like he's let off the gas. And then, yeah, there is times where Mahomes has just straight up overthrown him. But why is Mahomes having double the success with one guy? And like, what's the discrepancy there? You can't say, well, the discrepancy is just Mahomes. Mahomes is twice as worse when targeting Worthy. I don't think so. I think Thornton is just really good at tracking the deep ball and has showed that rapport with Mahomes that we've been looking for. So that's why a lot of people are saying, hey, give Thornton some more playing time. Now, the problem is, I think Thornton's route tree is a bit more limited than Worthy's. You can use Worthy in more ways on the offense than you can Thornton, and I think that affects how many snaps he's out there seeing on the field. See you later, Vicky. Yeah, size is a part of the problem for sure if you're talking about Worthy. I mean, he's playing through injuries too, right? Playing through injuries. What we looking at, HBT? This was deep targets for Worthy and Thornton. 20-plus yards down the field this year. That's what we were looking at. Hadn't realized how hated Juju is in the league. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because, like, years ago, the TikTok thing. I know he's had some of his skirmishes before on the field and kind of talk trash, and I think he's just a little bit more, in his early years especially, a little more, what do you want to call it? He just like loud, let your personality show. It's not bad, but that can definitely rub people the wrong way. He also he stood up for Antonio Brown, remember? And was it Perfect or whatever? He lit him up later after he did that to Antonio Brown. I don't know why he's that hated around the league, to be honest with you. I feel like, especially in recent years, he's been pretty chill. Big ego? I don't even, not now. Maybe a little egotistical younger, I guess. That's a lot of wide receivers. I looked at, do you think Juju ever had more of a kind of an ego about him than Jamar Chase or something? But Jamar Chase, some of that, he just backs it up with his play. So it's well, frick. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Von Perfect. Yep. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know why Juju's not liked around the league like that. And I'm not even trying to just be a Chiefs homer about it. I just, unless it's still just from years past. And that's why, I guess. Trade deadline's over? Yes, it's been over for a little while. Yes, sir. Hey, Cole, question. I wanted to let you know JD gave you props on his maybe his YouTube channel about you both chatting on Twitter and the Chiefs. Oh yeah, heck yeah. I hate Twitter sometimes because I don't actually like conversations like that because they take a long time compared to in person. But I did for JD. I was really trying to respectfully talk back and forth with him. And if you don't know what we're talking about Jason Dunn of Chiefs Concerns. We were talking about the running back room, and I do think it's a mix of both. But I was saying basically, hey, I think he was basically saying, hey, the Chiefs have all the tools they need in their current running back room to have an effective run game. It's just a matter of they don't utilize them enough, and they're not. I think it's also they're not utilizing them enough and maybe not running from under center enough. And so to an extent, I kind of agree. And that's why we're hey, run from more under center. They did that last week. It was very effective. But if the Chiefs were content with their running back room, they weren't going to be in and trying to get a trade for Breece Hall. They just didn't want to give up a third. The Chiefs absolutely agreed that they needed a more dynamic playmaker in the backfield. That was my argument, was hey, they can still have a more effective run game with a more dynamic playmaker in the backfield. So that was our conversation on Twitter, and it was fine. But I would have rather, it's just way easier to have it like this, talk back and forth. But I think both of it's true. I think the Chiefs absolutely need to run more from under center. We've been saying that. And we all almost blew a head gasket when Mahomes tried to throw an RPO in the Colts game and Leatu Latu didn't bite. And he tipped up the pass and picked it off because they don't respect the run game because they keep running the bullshit RPOs. And sometimes it's fine, but if you never run true runs from under center and give the defense any reason to fear or respect, don't even have to fear it, respect the run game, they're not gonna, what's it gonna do? It's gonna make your offense just much more difficult to navigate down the field. So I do agree with that, but I also think somebody like a Breece Hall, just some other dynamic playmaker that can catch passes and run out of the backfield at a higher level than anybody on the roster right now would have helped. But the trade deadline's over. JD has also been in the film. He's a longtime NFL vet, so I respect his opinion on what he's seeing on film because he was also saying some of it's on the O-line. And I think it's a mixed bag on what's going on with the Chiefs running back room. But you're telling me if Breece Hall was here last week and he had 30 carries, you think he would have busted off at least a couple of explosive runs? Kareem Hunt had one for 18, but Breece Hall might have took it for 35. So that's where I'm just kind of saying, well, I think the Chiefs can shift how they're calling runs and a little bit of their identity of the offense for sure. But then also, let's invest more than one-year flyers and seventh-round draft picks for the running back room. I think it's both. But yeah, much respect to JD, man. I have a lot of respect for. He's one of the few former NFL players in the Chiefs space. Mitchell Schwartz will do it too, but they're very interactive with the fan base. They'll talk, he talked to me at a peer level, even though I haven't played football before. So Yeah, they're very respectful, and I have the utmost respect for those guys. Jai said I disagree. If Andy runs the ball like we did against the Colts, we could bring back the run threat instead of abusing RPO. Well, I don't want to bring back RPO. No, I want to go more run heavy, regardless. But a more dynamic playmaker in the backfield would help with that even more. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Veach waiting for after the season to trade for CMC, squeezing the couple years he has left. Oh, gosh. I don't know about that one. What's up? Question for Cole. If you had to choose between signing Breece Hall or drafting Jeremiah Love, which would you choose? Yeah, so I'm not a big draft guy. I don't watch college football right now, and I won't really study until after the season, so I couldn't give you a great answer. But I will say, I think the reason why Veach didn't want to give up a third-round pick for Breece Hall is you don't want a third-round pick for a half-year rental if you weren't going to extend them. What if instead you get a running back? This is all hypothetical, but what if you get a running back early in the draft and you have cost control for 4 years and a good running back? Like better running back than you've had in a few years back there. That would absolutely be worth it, especially under cost control. Now, with that being said, I was still, hey, trade for Breece Hall. I was team trade for Breece and extend him, but that's not the route they wanted to go. Is Pierce a good running back? Yeah. I mean, I think he would raise the floor of the room instantly. Some people say, well, he sucks. Well, dude, they had multiple coaching turnover in Houston, OC turnover as well, and their O-line has not been great for the last couple of years. Now, he also just kind of got phased out because of some of the scheme changes from the new OC and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think the bar in the running back room for the Chiefs is so low that, yeah, I think he could make a difference a little bit. I have no idea. Yeah, he's a back. I have no idea if he's going to instantly contribute and be a game changer, but if somebody gets hurt or here in the next few weeks, I think he can give you some quality carries. The bar is pretty low, man. Like, the bar is pretty low. Like, I love Pacheco. He's got the vision issues, and we don't even know what he's going to look like after the MCL sprain. I think Kareem's great at short yardage. He's fine, but as well, like, from under center, like, they've been using him. But, dude, he only has so much tread left on the tires, and 30 carries a game is insane. Cole, why do you say, or why do you think they gave Elijah a contract and now he's in the doghouse? You think they're saving him for 2026 when they may lose Pops? No, because Elijah Mitchell's on a 1-year deal. I think they took a low-risk flyer, and when I say low risk, I'm saying like it didn't break the bank flyer on Elijah Mitchell, hoping he could bounce back from the season-ending hamstring injury he had, and he just doesn't look right. That he doesn't look. He's missing something. I don't know what exactly it is. I don't know if it's he's struggling to pick things up in the meeting room. I don't think that would be it. I think he just might physically not be where he was before his injury. But I have no idea. It's a very weird situation with Elijah Mitchell, man. Your guys' guess is as good as mine because, yeah, he's been a healthy scratch. They elevated CEH over him and activated him over Mitchell. But then the next week they activated Mitchell and he was out there for like 2 snaps. Your guess is as good as mine. If this year's Chiefs played last year's, who do you think would pull out the W? I know Kelsey was recently asked that, and he said this year's. I know Xander, Everything Weather, said last year's team would absolutely win. The defense was a tick better, but the left tackle play, O-line play in general is better for the Chiefs this year. Rice is back and healthy. I don't know. That's a tough question because they won a lot of one-score games last year. They haven't this year. I feel like Kelsey even looks better this year than last. I would think it's this year, but I know it's just a hypothetical question. That's a tough one. Is the Chiefs game being streamed on YouTube? I don't think so. This year's O-line beats last year's D-line. Yeah, even with Turk Wharton, Kingsley, Trey, Creed, like we're assuming everybody's healthy. I think so. It would be a close game, and Chiefs won all those last year. That's true. If you're saying, hey, last year's Chiefs team and this year's Chiefs team was in a game and it was a one-score game in the fourth quarter, who are you taking? I mean, we're probably taking last year. Cowboys will lose? I hope so. You think the Chiefs will make it to the championship? I mean, they just need to start winning some more games, brother, and get into the playoffs first. But if they can win enough games to get into the playoffs, I would absolutely put some money down on them making another deep playoff run. It is very hard to get back to the Super Bowl every single year. There's a reason why. How many teams in NFL history have made it to 4 Super Bowls in a row? How many has it been? You've had the Bills that have done it. Whatever that was, 88, 89, 90, 91, or whatever. But how many other teams have done that? I'm talking 4 years in a row. Just one. Okay, that's my point. That's why it's like so hard to do that. It's very impressive that the Bills went to 4 in a row and lost all 4. That's crazy. But yeah, it's so hard to do that. So I want the Chiefs to make it every year. They've made it to 4 and 5 or 5 out of the last 6, whatever it is. It's very difficult to sustain the level of success that the Chiefs had, and it's so improbable that's why everybody's crying in it and saying it's the refs. Well, no, it's just the Chiefs are able to defy the odds running an active dynasty in a league that doesn't really support dynasties. Like, it's not how it works. You get punished for doing well in the draft. You're drafting in the end of all these rounds. Like, the salary cap is going to make things a little bit more of an even playing field as well at times. So it's just like, yeah, it's very hard to make these deep playoff runs every year, man. Very difficult. Brand with the 5 gifted. Let's go. I think Matt Stafford is going to win MVP. Very well could. I tweeted out recently, he's on pace for like, I don't know, 4,400 yards, 46 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions this year. That's pretty MVP worthy to me. Yeah, Brand, thank you, brother. Hey, speaking of memberships, I don't know when we're doing the members only stream yet. We normally would do it on like this Thursday, but that's obviously Thanksgiving. What we might end up doing, honestly, is a November member stream early next week. I know that's December, but then we would do another one later in the month. And it's just because Thanksgiving falls on a weird time and I couldn't make it work last week. Like, I can't make it work tomorrow night. I don't think so. We might have to push it back and either do a members stream and merch giveaway on Sunday, the 30th, or just early next week, because the Chiefs don't play over the weekend. So like that Monday, Tuesday will be a little bit more chill. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. I know that's technically December, but we'll do 2 in December. Essentially what'll happen. Cole laughing at the Bills. I'm just laughing like, it's not funny, but it is kind of funny. It doesn't matter that it's the Bills, but just any team that makes it to 4 Super Bowls in a row. Insanely impressive in and of itself. But to win none of them is crazy. When will your custom helmet come? I did pay for the down payment, and he said he would let me know. So I'm excited about that. Will you do? Yeah, I'll do my recap video on Friday. Yep. Is content your full-time job? Not trying to get too personal. No, you're all good, Big Boss. Yeah, I run in this YouTube channel, and then I post on like TikTok and all the other socials and make some money from that too. And then we've got ads, like YouTube AdSense from here, like super chats and stuff from the live streams. It's not a saying to do that right now. I'm just saying different ways that money comes in, and then like ad placements in my videos. So like Underdog sponsorship, Good Chop, SeatGeek, all that stuff. So yeah, I am blessed to be able to do this for a living. You wonder what I would look like without a beard? We should get one of those, don't they have like a filter of like what you would look like without a beard? Keon Coleman continues to prove Worthy was a better choice. I think we're comparing the wrong two. I think if I could go back, I think the Chiefs should have gotten Ladd McConkey. That's just me. But Ladd McConkey is insane, man. I just think he's a really, really good receiver, and he was available. The Chiefs wouldn't even have had to trade up either, but I like Worthy. So I don't want you to hear that as like me putting Worthy down. I just think if I had to go back and choose now, probably choosing Ladd, but I could see why the Chiefs went with Worthy. They're looking for your deep threat guy. But I do like Ladd McConkey a lot. No, I'm not shaving the beard. There's no way. But yeah, Worthy over Keon Coleman for sure. He's been like a healthy scratch. I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him at all. Do you think Mahomes' deep balls regressed or Tyreek Hill covered up some of the errors? I think there's an aspect of that because I don't feel like Mahomes was ever like an elite deep ball guy. He's elite in a lot of areas, but I don't think when you lumped the deep ball in with Mahomes, I mean, maybe some people said, oh, yeah, he's elite with the deep ball. But I do think Tyreek Hill was a generational talent that had the ability to kick into fifth gear at the end of his route to haul in some of those deep balls. So I do think that is an aspect of it. I think Mahomes might have been a little bit more pinpoint on deep balls earlier, years ago. I'm not saying he's out of his prime or anything like that, but there is some aspects of he's off at times. If you look at the charts, metrics, he's a slightly above average on deep targets this year. So Chiefs fans, we just have such a high expectation. You see some people on Twitter that act like Mahomes is like Will Levis on deep balls. Well, no, he's slightly above average, but then you go look at the other charts of like Mahomes and his EPA per play going beyond the first read, and Mahomes on an island of his own. But that's like Mahomes is like off script, sidearm for 10, 15 yards, like that kind of stuff, or the pitch to Jerick McKinnon for the touchdown pass. That's all off script. That's all instinct. You can't teach that. It's insane. That's elite. His ability to think fast, to extend plays, he's still very accurate, so don't get me wrong. But so I think Tyreek Hill covered up some of it. Yeah. Bench Mahomes? What the heck? Yeah, man, Minshew. How much to shave the beard? It's not happening. I think I said one year, didn't I say? I said if the Chiefs went undefeated and won the Super Bowl, I would shave my beard. And they made it to like 9-0, and I was getting nervous. They ended up losing 2. Maybe it was last year. They lost 2 and went to the Super Bowl and lost. But it was getting a little nerve-wracking. Worthy is fragile. It scares you. Yeah, the shoulder thing I think was a bit of a fluke injury, and I hope you guys don't hear me saying like, hey, I don't like Worthy, because I do like Worthy. I think he makes plays. I think he's been showing great signs, especially late last year, but he's been playing through injury for most of the year, which is just super unfortunate. 4 Super Bowl wins in a row, but you shave your beard or keep it? Oh, if the Chiefs could win 4 Super Bowl, they could win 4 Super Bowls in a row? Oh, yeah, this thing is gone. This thing is gone. Dunzo. Cole with red hair on his beard or head and no beard. That's what I used to be. It was like it's weird, dude. My beard is way more red than like the hair on my head. Used to be. Does that make sense? You should get beard ornaments. No. Cole, someone about the clip you saying I don't like Worthy now? Nah, I think it's fine. If you hear the whole answer, I was just giving my thoughts around it, but I do like Worthy. Even since 2018, I've always thought Mahomes especially was the intermediate area of the field, not the deep. That's like, yeah, that's his specialty. Yeah, the off-script stuff, the instincts, even like just what he's able to do to extend plays, avoid sacks, thinking on the fly. It's all the improv and then the freaky arm angles from playing baseball, right? Yeah, he's awesome, man. I'm glad he's a quarterback. Is he perfect? No. But I will say I think he's held to this extremely high bar because of the previous years that we've had with him. And so if he's ever dipping below that, I think some fans, I'm not saying anybody in chat in particular per se, but I think some fans will dramatize how bad he's being when it's just he's not being perfect. And earlier on in his career, prime Tyreek and prime Kelsey was the thing of beauty, right? Still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. No doubt about it. Favorite Thanksgiving dish? Dude, I don't even know. Give me some cheesecake. That's what I want. If Tyquan Thornton caught all of his 17 passes, would he have gotten to 1,000 yards? Well, he was averaging 40 yards a reception. So no, it wouldn't quite get there, but it would get you to like 800. Get you close. Mahomes a true dual threat, especially in the playoffs. Yeah, he can use his legs too. He's always just fast enough. Cole, can you believe you had 15K people watching you at one point in the Chiefs game? That's crazy. Was that the Colts game? I wasn't looking at the numbers. I didn't know that. That's great. That is kind of crazy, yeah. Mahomes has been without a deep threat for years. Have to practice those throws on a consistent basis. You can't keep throwing those to wide receivers we've had after Tyreek. Yeah, you went from like Tyreek to MVS. I mean, yeah, I think Tyquan Thornton might be the best deep threat Mahomes has had since Tyreek. Who, if it's not him, who? I think it is, which is crazy to think about. Chat was going nuts during the game, couldn't keep up. Yeah, that's how it works. Is Dave Tobe on the hot seat? I don't know, but I will say the special teams unit is struggling for sure. I did a short today on the special teams unit, just struggling as a whole, but Price Carter of Arrowhead Addict also shared this, just some stats on the Chiefs special teams. They're 24th in DVOA, 30th in punt return DVOA, 28th in yards per punt return, 9th in yards per kick return, 20th in kick return yards allowed. And then the field goal stuff, like I feel like Butker's on the upward trend, so some of that is inflated from him missing earlier on. But then they're like the 9th most penalized team in the NFL on special teams or something like that. So I don't know if Tobe's in the hot seat, but they need to figure it out, dude. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, they're the 9th most penalized team on special teams in the NFL as well. So it is a definite problem this year, to say the least. There's only 4 teams to make 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Ooh, okay. Who? Bills, Chiefs, Patriots, and 49ers? Who's the other one? Cowboys? Who's the other one? I think we're spoiled as Chiefs fans with Mahomes. Yep. Yeah, reaching the championship game and only losing in overtime is the benchmark. Yeah, I remember the years we were one and done, didn't make the playoffs. Definitely spoiled with Mahomes. To make all the conference championships every year as like a bare minimum is absolutely insane. Oh, the Dolphins? What? Okay, I wasn't on my bingo card. Jeez. That was not on my bingo card. Royals better be a playoff team when Mahomes retires. Hey, you never know what can happen. Dolphins Super Bowl appearances was, 73, 74. It's 72, 73, 74, I think. Maybe that's why I didn't know. No offense. I was born in 91. You believe Pierce will take over punt return duties? Ooh, he doesn't have punt return experience. So no. I think if anybody does some punt returns, maybe Brashard Smith. I think Thornton has kick return, not Thornton. I think Damian Pierce has kick return experience. Let me double check, but I'm almost positive he has like no punt return experience. Yeah, he has not returned a single punt in his NFL career, but he's returned 20 kickoffs, and he's had one for a touchdown, a 98-yarder his rookie year. So I don't think so about Pierce on punts. Pierce house a punt for 92 yards. Was that in college? Because he has 0 punt returns in the NFL. We've also been spoiled with returners the past 2 decades. Yeah, Dante Hall, Tyreek Hill. Who was the other guy that was a fun one? Even before, like somewhere around then. It wasn't McCluster. Was it? Who's the other one I'm thinking of? There's another one. That was fun. Vanover was one. Tyreek. Oh, DeAnthony Thomas. No, Dexter McCluster. That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm thinking of Dexter. Yeah, I was right. Need to play a clean game. We've had too many penalties on away games. Absolutely agreed. Yep. Yeah, Vanover was one, 95 to 99. My dad used to have a Vanover jersey when I was a kid. But yeah, Dante Hall would be the big one. Although JT Smith, he's up there in a lot of the stats. From 78 to 84. He might be your leading punt return leader in yards. Stop with KT, y'all. Who? Kadarius Toney? Kadarius Toney's hilarious, homie. Yep, Dexter McCluster, man. He was a lot of fun. Is there much of a difference in punts and or kickoffs. If you're talking about catching them, yes, I think there is. And I think that's why sometimes you just have a guy that, I mean, like Nico can do both, and he's your kind of return specialist, but you had a lot of guys, like Sky Moore had more success returning kicks than he did punts. I think punts are a way more high stress situation because of what punters can do with their leg. They can make the ball kind of spin and do some weird things in the air compared to a kickoff where now, yeah, the kickoffs are being more creatively kicked. But I do think even like the average fan, like the average person, like if me and all y'all, I don't even know how many's in chat right now. If me and 470 others went out there, I think we would have more success catching kickoffs than we would punts. There's just so many other factors with the punts compared to a kickoff. So that's just my take on it. And that's why sometimes you've got guys really good at returning punts and others can't do it at all. You're going to house it? He's going to house it! Love that. Well, heck yeah, man. What do you think of Xavier Worthy being a kick returner? I mean, I like the idea of Brashard Smith. They've been using Thornton. I haven't seen a lot from Thornton in the return game. Or Nico. Worthy sounds fun. I think Tobe said Worthy would be one of their best punt returners, but he's never really going to do it unless it's an emergency situation. I'm Solo in the house with the 5. What's up, dude? Oh, okay. Hey, HBTC Eagles fan here. Oh, what's up, dude? You guys will move the ball a lot easier than us against the boys. Our OC made them look good. Happy holidays. Well, dude, thanks for the 5-bomb and the kind words, man. It's been a really weird season for you guys, I think. But I did watch that whole game against the Cowboys, 21-0, and just the way things went. It was a very weird. It's a very weird offense for you guys right now because you have pieces. You've got A.J. Brown. You've got Devontae Smith. You still have a good O-line. I do think they've taken a step back, but I think Hurts is still a good quarterback. And then you have Saquon. But I just don't understand how that offense can lead the league in 3-and-outs. I think they're like top 3 in punts. I think also the Eagles have had 3 or 4 scoreless halves. I don't know if it's this year or over the last 2 years, which is among the highest. It's a stat I heard that I can't remember all of it, but all that to say, like, it's just really weird to see how that offense is performing. And I'm sure you as an Eagles fan got to be really frustrated by that. But dude, happy holidays, man. And also that Eagles-Cowboys game was a divisional game. I know those can get weird, but yeah, blowing a 21-point lead can never feel good. KC Lion Squad with the 2. Jamal Charles, second year, had nice kick return stats. Ooh, good old Jamal Charles, man. Bring him back in his prime in this offense, and it would be game over. It would be game over. Yeah, I think I remember him housing. How many kick returns? Let me look up. Jamal Charles has housed more than one, right? Let me see. Now I'm curious. We're looking it up. Jamal Charles return stats. Yeah, he had 1 touchdown on a kick return for 97 yards. I remember that one. Yeah, heck yeah. Brenda with the 20 bomb. Hey, let's go, Brenda. Happy Thanksgiving, Cole, to you and your family. Happy Thanksgiving to all of Chiefs family in the kingdom. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys, man. I hope you have a great one. Hopefully some of you are able to get some time off work and spend with fam or just eat too much food and watch a bunch of football and hope the Chiefs can get a win. Yeah, to Mark Vanover, dude. Yes, sir. Vanover. Ooh, he'll remember that number. Mahomes is on pace for 4,600 passing yards and 28 touchdowns. Do you think he will reach this? Really? He's only on pace for 28 touchdowns? Is that it? Maybe it was higher earlier on in the season, but he's since had like none. Yeah, he is on pace. He's on pace for 28 touchdowns, 4,600 yards, 11 interceptions. But what was your question? You think he'll reach that? I think he will exceed the touchdowns and just come up close to 4,600 yards. He was on pace for upper 30s of touchdowns, but the last 3 games, he's had 0 TDs, 1-0 again. That was Bills game, Broncos, Colts. But the Broncos and Colts game has been an issue of the Chiefs not being able to finish in the red zone. they were what, 2 for 10, 2 for 11 in the red zone. And you look back on that and it's like, well, Mahomes should have hit Rice on the other shoulder on one of those. That's a touchdown. You should have had more touchdowns. Like, there's one called back due to penalty. The red zone is a stressful, I think, issue with the Chiefs right now, and hopefully it's just a bit more circumstantial than anything else. Matt Nagy spoke about it today at his presser, and he put penalties on it as like a big one. But yeah, obviously it's lack of execution as well. Yeah, Kareem in his prime would be awesome too. You're talking in this offense, 2017, 2018 Kareem. I would take that too. Ooh, prime Jared Allen right now. Oh, man. Prime DT. Give me prime. What else? Let's get a prime. Could you imagine Tony Gonzalez and Kelsey together? That would be insane. What about defense? Who do we want to go? I always say prime Derek Thomas would be fun. But who else will we go on defense? Eric Berry, maybe. That'd be a good one. There's always some guys you could think of that's like, dude, that guy in his prime on this team. Woo! Maybe like Justin Houston. Oh, yeah. Somebody just said it. Justin Houston, Tamba, Marcus Peters. Yeah, Eric Berry for sure. Christian Okoye. Could you imagine Christian Okoye just like used as a fullback? Fullback dive with Christian Okoye. It's done. Ooh, prime Tyrann Mathieu. That'd be a good one. Heck yeah, dude. Prime Mahomes. Ooh, Dale Carter. Nice. Is that Mighty Mouse? Nice. Ooh, Kimball Anders. Nice. You? Ryder in his prime. We'll take that. Emmett Thomas. Nice. Yep. The legend. Shout out. Heck yeah, man. Well, dude, it's been an hour and a half. It is 10 o'clock. I'm going to get off here and go to bed. But, dude, I say dude when I'm tired. That's how you know. My thoughts are not as sharp as they were hours ago. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys hanging out. It's been a really cool time just to chill. It's nice to talk after a win. We could be a little bit more calm, but it's an important game on Thursday against the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully the Chiefs can come out with a win. You really need it. Moving to 7-5 would be absolutely fantastic. You have a couple more winnable games as well, then a couple more tough ones. But if you could get to those 11 or 12 wins by season's end, I like the Chiefs' playoff odds quite a bit. You could do it with 11. You could maybe sneak in with 10 and a prayer, but I don't like that at all. I think you need 11. More ideally 12, but we'll see. You got to start 1 week at a time, treat it as 1-0 being the goal, and then start stacking up the W's. But thanks everybody for hanging out. Mods holding it down. Thank you for the super chats, the dono bombs, everybody with the questions and just kind of hanging out. I always enjoy this. So until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?